जी। मन के हारे हार है बंधु, मन के जीत जी। हमें मालूम है मुश्किल बड़ी ये जिंदगानी है, बहुत बाधाएं हैं फिर भी तो नदियों में रवानी है। हमें मालूम है मुश्किल बड़ी ये जिंदगानी है, बहुत बाधाएं हैं फिर भी तो नदियों में रवानी है। थका ना जो रुका ना राह में हरदम।
Good evening, one and all. Good evening, future officers. Good evening, future public administrationist, public administrators. So it's a very joyful and a pleasurous moment for me whenever I take the class. It gives an immense pleasure for me to help you to achieve your goal. I was also in your position. I couldn't do. How great it will be if I can make at least one student achieve their dream. So having said that, let's get started. So before I start, let me make this point clear to you. Those of you who are appearing for 2024 prelims, please concentrate on prelims. The result of prelims will be out within 15 days. Within 15 days. If you get through prelims, definitely I will take daily 6 hours and I will finish the entire syllabus, even from the beginning till the end in only 1 month, 30 days. ये हो सकता है. Even without you reading anything, I can make that. So those of you who are writing, please concentrate on the things what I say till December. If at all, if you are little confident till January, उसका ऊपर अब touch भी नहीं करना है. This is with the people who have not a clear prelims. I repeat, if you have not yet cleared prelims and if you are giving your 2024 prelims, it's the high time that you concentrate on prelims. Sir, ऐसे क्या बोल दिए आपने? Why did you tell like this? The reason is simple. I have come across like more than thousands of students. I repeat, I have come across more than thousands of students who have been preparing for this examination. They have made a big mistake. What is that mistake? They have not cleared prelims at least once, but they are studying their optional till February. I say almost 100% students fail हो गए हैं. So for this, I am saying we have got all the recording. Not only that, after prelims is over, like mains के लिए 4 months रहते हैं. We can do the things, but I don't want you to fail. So let me explain like what I meant by that. So here, dear students, you have to take the things in a very logical way, in a methodological way. Everything should be based on this one. Now, please concentrate here. See, here you have got essay, right? Afterwards, you have got GS1, you have got GS2, GS3, GS4, then you have got optional. So optional 2 papers. So in whole, you will be having, this is 1, GS, 4 GS, and optional 2. Means you have got 7 papers for mains. Am I clear? Is it clear to you? You have got 7 papers. And you have got 10 months. So you have to prepare logically. So what I am saying is, with respect to this GS 1, 2, 3, the things are there in your prelims plus mains. Concentrate on them, master on them from January. Am I making this point clear to you? Amara game, like to get the service. In this, we have got one essay, four GS, and two optional papers. So in total, we have got seven, right? So you can master this thing, GS 1, 2, 3, because they are present in prelims and mains. You should master in such a way that after prelims, you will be just doing only revision. Essay and ethics, very, very easy. ये तो like 10 days में हो जाएगा, आपका चिंता करने का जरूरत नहीं है. So after prelims, that is May 26th till September 20, there are 115 days. In these 15 days, we can complete, like if you clear prelims, I will just complete these things in 30 days. Not at all a problem. So are you able to visualize the big picture? आपका पास 7 सब्जेक्ट है 10 months से. Is this clear to you? So, dear students, it won't be like our optional classes. Sorry, GS classes. Optional is entirely different. Here, a teacher has a great responsibility. He will be having great responsibility. And in my opinion, students should entirely depend on the teacher. So what I say, whatever you have, sir, ये लोग ऐसे कर रहे हैं. These people are doing like this. I found this material good. Please give me. I will simplify and I will give you. That is the reason I have not asked you to read any of the books, because I am in the process of simplifying all those books itself. Mohit Bhattacharya, Nicholas Henry, and Stephen Robbins, Foddy and Foddy are two books. All the books I will sum up and I will give the cream. So whatever taught in class, just read those things, that will be sufficing. The other things what I give will be left to you. It will be like homework. So that is the one point which I thought of making clear, because many, I don't want to, my humble request, if you are seriously preparing for 2024, please don't attend the classes after at least January 15th. December is almost out, like in under 15 days, you should not attend optional class, my optional class at least after January 15th. Don't worry about the syllabus. I will clear everything. Everything will be done. Concentrate on prelims. I don't want you to fail in prelims. So having said that, let's get started with the next topic. So before I get into the things, I want you to answer few questions. What are the major topics we have covered till now? Please do answer. What are the major topics? Don't give chota mota, big topics. Because I am concentrating in a very, very holistic way, so that you have got a logic, you have got a sequence, like a flow, like a river, the things should go. So please let me know what are the things we have covered from the beginning. If you don't know, it's okay. So after I ask the question, many have put off their cameras also. Okay, it's fine, right? It's so fine, it doesn't matter. So let me explain for you. Public administration, organization, closed model of organization, open model. Very good. So now you have got big idea of what is administration. What is administration? Please answer this question. Very important. What is administration? What is administration? Please do answer. Features of bureaucracy, organization. Decides policy. Very good. Goyal ji has given the correct answer. Others have given very vague and broader answer. Group of people cooperating towards common goal or purpose. That is it. That's it. So here, once again, don't ever concentrate on government, because that is a organization which you have to focus, but not now. The reason being, I have told you a very, very important thing. Here, everything, whatever we are studying, is with respect to management. Whatever it is there in management we are studying, you might have heard of MBA. This MBA is the direct result of scientific management. Before that, in fact, if you go long, during Britisher period or in the early 20th century, even 21st century, like if you come to Indian scenario, there was nothing like MBA. MBA emerged because of scientific management. Till scientific management, nobody thought that there is a thing like management. Just workers and owners. Workers and owners. This was the thing. Right? Another more very important thing which you have to keep in mind. So here, please connect the dots. Okay. Let me see. Okay. So now, see here, administration. Please concentrate. Administration includes management and also organization. This is the big picture we should have. Now we are not at all dealing with administration. We are not at all making policies. We are not thinking about those things. What we are concentrating is management and organization. Is the point clear to you? So though the chapter is named administration, we are concentrating on the elements, the most important things, management and organization. This is the one important thing which you have to keep in mind. Otherwise, you won't understand the things properly. Right? So in this regard, we have studied organization, properties of organization. Afterwards, like we have discussed open and closed model properties. Now, like we have briefly dealt with the bureaucracy also. Now we will discuss about scientific management. So in fact, once again, I reiterate, the most important of all the things is bureaucratic model, because that is the only model which has been written for public administration or government administration. All these things, what you are seeing, scientific, administrative, human relation, OD, OE, all these things are only from the management perspective, never with government perspective. The only one till date, like complete with respect to organization as a whole. In fact, public with government, concentrating government is bureaucracy. After that comes scientific management. It's a very, very important and beautiful theory. Scientific management. What do you understand by scientific management? Please do answer. I've already given answer for this in my last class. See here, this is very important. We are a small team. Until and unless you cooperate, until and unless we like, okay, the best way, very nice. One best way will be very opt, very good. The one best way of doing the things. Okay, you have already given the answer. Then my question is, how to evolve that one best way? Right, great. All your Durga, like Dubeji, Mishraji, Karishma, great. Like how? Think about. You can give vague answers or your own answers. How can we get one best way? Locus, okay. Locus and focus are the two most important words. I'll explain those things later. Locus and focus, okay. Then, like, how to get the best way? Say, I'll tell you an example. Think that, please listen to me. Think that I have to load a tractor, right? Think that this is the tractor and this me the worker. So इधर से इधर लेके जाना है, कैसे लेके जाऊंगा? So here, to begin with, we have to select the worker. A short worker, thin worker, no energy, anemic worker. Can we select those kind of worker? No. सो फर्स्ट वर्कर को सेलेक्ट करो, देन स्पेड मीन्स द थिंग फ्रॉम विच any sand or anything will be put to a basket. If the spade is too long, it becomes difficult. Appropriate spade we have to take. See, I have to fill the sand. ऐसा खड़ा होके ऐसा किए तो होता है क्या? नहीं. There should be perfect way. Like how much I have to bend, how much I have to do. Say for example, it is like 2 feet, 3 feet. So ऐसे छोटे छोटे स्टेप्स रख के जाए तो हो सकता है क्या? बड़ा स्टेप रखना है या छोटा स्टेप रखना है? हाउ शुड आई? After that, tractor, should the tractor should be in higher elevation or lower elevation? So all these things should be taken into consideration. For that, before the work starts, the manager has to plan. So I repeat, before the work begins, the manager has to plan as to how the work should be executed. Number one. Second, scientifically, they have to select the worker. Right? So while deciding in the beginning, management should do time and motion studies. What is the best way? What is the best time? They have to fix the standards and they have to take the workers, select the workers, teach the workers, develop the workers. Right? So by this, scientific way can be achieved. This is in general, in broad. But we'll study scientific management in a very, very systematic way. Please listen to me. You can write afterwards. So public administration, for those people who are attending 2024, don't worry. 15 days में आपका रिजल्ट हो जाता है. आपका रिजल्ट हुए तो मैं एक मंथ में, this is my word, I'll complete, like I'll take 5 to 6 hours and I'll complete everything. And I don't want you to take my class seriously after January 15. Because I have found thousands of people who studied optional after even after February and they failed, right? Just listen. What is scientific management? You already have given the answer. That's it. We'll elaborate little. After that, why scientific management? Means it is with respect to the background. It is with respect to the time. Scientific management has a concrete subject emerged. I repeat, scientific principles, scientific managements were present long before also, but has a concrete subject, as a concrete thing, emerged only at the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century. Why that happened, we'll see. After that, father of scientific management, F.W. Taylor. So here, first of all, we'll concentrate on the most important thing, Taylor's principle of scientific management. Because in fact, the meaning of scientific management itself is given by Taylor. If you take scientific management as a like 100 units, things told by Taylor will be covering 90% of the things. So scientific management, emergence, origin, all these things, we won't bother. We'll study in depth afterwards. First, we have to do the most important things. Otherwise, your knowledge, your thought will be distorted and you will be just thinking as to what is this scientific management. See, before the end of this class, I want you to master scientific management. I repeat, by the end of this class, you should be mastering what is scientific management. If you have mastered bureaucratic model, as I have thought, it will be more than sufficient. In fact, what I have thought, उससे 5 times teach करना है. I repeat, bureaucracy is not yet over. It is just beginning है. अभी बहुत बड़ा picture बाकी है. But that is the core, that is the cream, that is the crux. Similarly, this scientific management. Scientific management is not that big when compared to bureaucracy. So father of scientific management, F.W. Taylor. And can anyone say who is the mother of scientific management? Any idea? So scientific management में मैं 3 नेम दिया था, उसमें एक है. So you can imagine. For the three people I asked you to remember, yes, Gilbreth's is the correct answer. In that, Frank and Lillian Gilbreth's, Frank is male, Lillian is female. So she is the mother. It is not me saying the text say like that. So scientific management will start in a systematic way. What Taylor has said, right? This is the background. After that, scientific management. Please listen to me. Very important. If you lose this slide, you will lose whole scientific management. It's a very systematically prepared one. Scientific management, first of all, you have to understand the background. At the time when Tyler wrote, what was the things present? So first is background. Industries were inefficient. The production was very less. So to bring production, productivity, everything high, scientific management principle came into being. Right, right, clear? Afterwards, you have to get into the assumptions of scientific management. So in fact, these are, I repeat, the things I am showing now. The big heading, scientific management, Tyler. All the things are said by Tyler. So background, he has not said. Background is a fixed one. So assumptions, what according to Tyler was the assumptions with respect to industry, with respect to organization, with respect to management, with respect to workers. So very important. Here you have to keep three things in your mind. With respect to scientific management, it's like this. The key things, say for example, when I said Government of India Act of 1773, the most important thing you have to concentrate is who is executive, who is legislature. So here most important thing which you have to concentrate here is, one is organization. The ultimate aim is to increase the production, productivity, efficiency, all these things. Two important things which you have to concentrate is, one is management and another is workman, worker. Clear? So you have to keep two things in your mind, worker and management. Above all, organization. So everything revolves around these two people, in fact. Right? So what are the assumptions Tyler was having? Next is with respect to the principles. So don't write all these stories in your notes. Just write assumptions, principles, then techniques. That's it. इससे कुछ नहीं है. Is the point clear to you? When it comes to Tyler, you should know the background or the things which were present. Say for example, आप जाने से पहले क्या था? Before Britishers came, what was the status of India? Before Mughals came, what was the status of India? कैसे थे? So based on that, they made certain assumptions. Afterward, they came with some principles. These principles were involving some techniques. So these are the only things. If at all, if you want to like zero down the things, background, principle and techniques, itna aapko dimag mein rakhe to like more than sufficient. So have you internalized this one? Is this thing internalized? Not like writing. Okay, just write down these things as short as possible. Scientific management already written. No need to write what is scientific management. Just write what, why, father. That's it. Then next para, SM, scientific management, Tyler. Means all the things we'll be discussing after this is according to Tyler. So background. So a small hyphen. So this background is at the end of 19th century and beginning of 20th century. That's it. See, nothing more than this. Assumptions, principles, techniques. Right? Done with. There is nothing more than this in scientific management. So if you are done with, please let me know. So ऐसा नहीं लिखना है, ऐसा 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 ऐसे देख के ऐसे लिखना है. The slides will be there. You shouldn't be doing that like small children. Like you should be seeing and you should be writing. So can't you write what is scientific management without seeing? So I see some people doing like this. Okay, done. Okay, next, moving to the next slide. So if this is there, everything will be clear to you. We'll be discussing many things. Listen to me. We'll be discussing many things with respect to before Tyler who are there. As I said, scientific management has a concrete subject emerged during that period. But even then, many people like Charles Babbage and many others, they have also were using scientific methods before Tylers who are there. After Tylers who are there, like Gilbert's, Gaunt, all these people. Then scientific management is universal. Tyler himself says that these principles are universal, you can apply to anyone. So how universal are there? We'll discuss. After that, the effect of scientific management. Uska use kya hua? Almost all as I like as you might be aware, scientific management, public administration, all these things were born, emerged only in America. So what was the effect? The presidents, everyone was impressed. Ford was impressed. And in fact, your Gilberts, they were advisors to 6 presidents. In fact, Frank Gilbert was having 12 children and their house was like scientifically managed. What was the effect? Revolutionary effect. So even now you might have heard foremen, gangmen, all these things are directly taken from scientific management. After that, humans. There is a big allegation that humans are just used as a machine, a cog in the wheel. So how far it is justified? These are the things. In that, the last one, humans as machine, is the one of the most important one. All other things are not that important. These were important when public administration was there for prelims. The last one, like they are using humans as machines. They want human to be as efficient as machines. How far is this correct? That is the one. So don't worry about these things. Why I'm stressing upon these things is in all the books, they have given scientific management before Tyler who are there, after Tyler who are there, all these things. By this, you lose the concept. I hope by now you have got some concept, some clarity about bureaucracy. So let me see what you have understood about bureaucracy. What is bureaucratic theory? I have asked you to remember only 3 words, just 3 words. However, you remember, don't see the book. Bureaucracy 3 words में express करना है. What is that? Very important, very good. So Karishma ji has answered first. Very nice. Exercise of legal rational authority, impersonal organization. Then one more. The most important thing. Just 3 words. Enforcement, right? Another one. Enforcement and enactment. Great. Of what? Enforcement and enactment of legal rules and regulations. See, if these things are clear to you, you can like write anything. After that, hierarchy, merit system, everything comes. So my humble request, whatever I give, please master. Okay. So similarly, I will explain scientific management in a very, very authentic, in a very precise way, the way like you might have not heard or you might have not found anywhere. This is the result of studying some 10 books. Even after studying some of the things which were given to me by Lakshmikant sir, in fact, I have kept like all those things intact. Sir used to give handouts. So original handouts of Lakshmikant sir also I'll be sharing. But you have to concentrate on the principles first. Okay. So now, these are the things which we'll be studying. So what is scientific management? Listen to me. It is under closed model. You are aware of that. Next, it is popularly known as time motion studies. Scientific management was more known popularly in US at that point of time as time and motion theory. Means how much time and what are the standard motions. So just concentrate now. Then scientific management is the analysis of workflow processes has the means of rising organization productivity. So this is one of the most important and the authenticated definition given in Nicholas Henry that you have to internalize. So workflow means what are the steps? Say a car. If a car is to be built, what are the steps taken? What is the sequence? Similarly, for any work. So what are the steps and what are the sequence? The things which I have given workflow process, this is a meaning, dictionary meaning, not to bother much. The word workflow process is important, not the meaning. The meaning simply says steps and also sequence of activities. That's it. Right? Then scientific management, the best way of doing the work. Frederick Taylor gave the school its name with his 1911 volume Principles of Scientific Management. So these things suffice. Right? Now write down just SM, scientific management. You should be writing very fast. First point, closed model. Closed model, popularly known as time and motion studies. Underline time and motion studies, popularly known as time and motion studies. Third one, very important. SM is the analysis of, SM is the analysis of, so what they are analyzing? Workflow processes. Is the analysis of workflow processes. Underline it. So why they are analyzing workflow processes? Has the means. This is the method. Has the means of rising organizational productivity. So I repeat, scientific management is the analysis of workflow processes has the means of rising organizational productivity. Last point, Tyler gave this school, Tyler gave this school its name with his 1911 volume Principles of Scientific Management. So it is one of the greatest works of Tyler. So Principles of Scientific Management, you can see the name itself. The term scientific management came into being just because of this book. This book was like extraordinary. Many people took this book to heart. They applied all the things which were there. Those Tyler has given like 3-4 books other than this, which were earlier. This is the magnum opus, the most important, and in fact, the most authentic expression of scientific management. Done with? Shall we proceed next? So this is scientific management, nothing more than this. Everything is mein aa gaya. Time, motion study, workflow, one best way, Tyler, everything. Shall we move? Okay, then next. Father of scientific management, it's written on the tomb of also Tyler. So after Tyler has died, don't write these things, general information. Even they have written on the tomb, father of scientific management. He is resting here. So Tyler, no need to know the time. If at all, if you want, you can. So how to remember? Just remember one, Tyler died in 1915. So 1915, 5 to already hai. So 1856, he was born. No need to bother about this. Then he worked. He worked as a laborer, as an apprentice, as a manager, in all the things. If you remember the organization from the very beginning, listen to me. From the very beginning, he worked as a constable. After that, head constable. After that, sub inspector. After that, inspector. After that, SP. After that, DGP, IGP, things like that. Means he was everywhere. That is one of the most important thing. All his works majorly are dependent on his experience. This is very important thing because like we should know the basis. It is not based on any experiment. If we go further, like Haverthorne experiment, they were conducted for decades. Thousands of people were involved. Here, everything is saying is based on his own experience. So here they have given in many books, many things, but the most important, aesthetic, the required thing is he worked as a apprentice at the age of 18 for 4 years. Apprentice means practice and without money also. After that, he worked as a laborer in steel company. He worked so well that within a short period of time in the same steel company, he became a chief engineer. How great is this? Laborer becoming a chief engineer. It's simply like Modi ji, a simple like Karasevaka, like or some worker becoming the chief minister and the PM. So apprentice, labor, and general manager also. Then again, he worked after 1909 completely research, right? So you note down these things. F.W. Tyler worked as number one apprentice at 18, 4 years without money, right? Apprentice at the age of when he was 18 years old for 4 years without money. Then laborer. Then he worked as laborer and he reached to chief executive engineer. Don't worry, don't write all these sentences. I will be giving all these things in a very systematic way, sentence by sentence. Just write what is there in the slide. Laborer to chief engineer, not just engineer, chief engineer, head of all, at the top. Then he also worked as a general manager, GM. And from 1901, completely on research work. Done with? So if you are done with, please let me know. We'll go a little fast. Okay. Done. So this is about the background. Next, why scientific management? What was the reason for the emergence of scientific management? By the end of 19th century and the beginning of 20th century, in organization, there was a lot of inefficiency. Lot of inefficiency. The reason was production was less. So loss of production, so that leads to inefficiency. The key terms which you have to mention, I repeat, when scientific management concretely emerged, organizations were inefficient. Only one term, inefficient. The reason is low productivity. Low productivity, that's it. Then you may ask me, why this happened? The reason for this, at this time, that is I will explain the reasons. To solve these things, at this time, scientific management emerged in concrete form, in a systematic form. Why I'm using and stressing on concrete is scientific methods were present even before that. From the beginning of industrial revolution itself, scientific methods were there, but in a concrete way, in a holistic way, only emerged during this period. So this came into being to increase the efficiency of organization by increasing the production, right? So to sum up, at the end of 19th century and the beginning of 20th century, organizations were inefficient. The reason was low productivity. To overcome this, scientific management emerged. So noted down. Have you noted down this? Right, simple. Don't worry. Like, see, if some things you lose, don't worry. It's not like our like Holy Bible or Quran. Because if you miss, everything is gone. It's not like that. Okay. Why inefficiency in organization? So listen to me. Very important. Very, very important. If you don't know the reasons, so with respect to emotional intelligence, what is the most important thing? One most important thing to be emotionally intelligent. One most important thing. One most important thing to be emotional intelligence or everything related to emotional intelligence is recognizing your emotions first. ये हम नहीं करते. Recognizing is important. Similarly, you have to recognize what were the problem solved. Problem kya tha? That is the one we have to keep into mind. So, why there was inefficiency? Number one, rule of thumb. So, anyone who is having the idea of what is rule of thumb? Rule of thumb means which is based on an unorganized way, unstructured way. Don't write down, just listen to me. So, how the organizations were run? Organization को कैसा run करना? There was no principles. They were done on ad hoc basis, not organized, not structured, no principles. So these things led to inefficiency, right? First and foremost, the things were not run according to principles or any standards. They were run based on rule of thumb. The next is managers. Managers were very lazy. So managers were lazy. So workers decided themselves as to what to do. Listen to me. A manager has to tell workers as to what they should do. But they did not do that. So workers were doing the work on their own initiative. On their own initiative. And the incentive they were getting is salary. And the salary was based on attendance. Okay, please interlink the things. Think about the agriculture farmer who comes to your field or anywhere. If he is just present from morning to evening, you will get some sum. We'll take, for example, 500. Think that a worker has worked very hard. Will you be giving 1,000 rupees? No. So what will happen here? See here, if this is the amount of work. So if you think this is the amount of work present here, if the workers, work more, if the workers work more, that can be done in very less time. Less time means they will lose job. So have you come across these things? Daily wage laborers, it is very common. Among the daily wage laborers, they won't give you any Nobel Prize because that you have worked very well. They will give only one day. They work on day basis, not on work basis. So the most important thing here with respect to incentive is workers were paid based on attendance, not work. So unka kya tha? They wanted to expand the work. The thing which can be done in 5 days, they wanted to expand for 7, 8 days. So this was one of the main reasons for the low productivity. So lazy, the managers were lazy. They never identified the principles which have to be done. Because of that, workers were doing the things on their own. The incentive for the workers was salary, and that was based on attendance, not the work. And the managers used to put the burden on the workers. If something goes wrong, they always used to say that because of these workers, things went wrong. They were putting the burden, they are shifting the burden on workers. When comes a comparison between the workers and the managers, in fact, the managers were less cooperative than the workers. So here, both were not too cooperative. If at all, if we take the comparative things, managers were less cooperative, right? So rule of thumb was there. Managers were lazy. Because of that, workers started doing their work on their own initiative. For workers, the incentive was salary, and the salary was based on attendance, not work. The managers used to put the burden on the workers, and the managers were less cooperative when compared to workers. So here, workmen, there was one important thing known as soldering. Very important term, soldering. What is soldering? Soldering is one which reduces the output. Just listen to me. Soldering is that which reduces the output. In that soldering also, we had got two things, natural soldering and systemic soldering. So very important, soldering, what is that? That which reduced the output in the organization. Two things, two types of soldering. One is natural and another is systemic. I repeat, natural and systemic. Natural is because of some personal reasons. Natural is natural. Systemic is intentional. Say, for example, an individual is lazy, an individual is not having sufficient knowledge. This all come under natural. Under systemic soldering, the main thing is the workers wanted to keep the manager's expectations low. So just listen to me. What is systemic soldering? Systemic soldering is the workers wanted to keep the manager's expectation of work low. So managers' expectation of the work was kept low means workers tried to make this point clear in the minds of managers that workers can do only little. So I repeat, soldering means that thing which reduces the output. That can be two forms. One is natural because of reasons like laziness, not to over exit, and many other things. Take the things easily. The other thing is systemic. Here, intentional one, deliberate one. This kept the expectation. Why was this followed? To keep the expectation of the managers with respect to the work, what workers do, low. Natural soldering can be easily solved by giving some incentives or threat. But systemic in soldering is very problematic and difficult to solve. Right? Next is coming to see here, like we have used in a very systematic way. Organization has a whole. That is rule of thumb. Right? Next we concentrated on the elements, manager. Next we concentrated on worker. Now we are concentrating on the compatibility. As I said, anything, any factory or even this batch is like a team. If both are not cooperating, things cannot go forward. So manager and worker. Here the most important thing is there was no harmony. Just listen to me. There was no harmony. People were always fighting. Always trade unions, workers, managers, always in fight. What was the reason for this fight? The reason is they thought that the mutual interests are antagonistic. Antagonistic means conflict. Right? So here there was conflict. What is the opposite of conflict? No harmony. So conflict was there, no harmony. They thought that the mutual interests were antagonistic. or competitive, incompatible, incompatible with each other. Interest of, they thought that interest of managers are not incompatible with the workers. So there was individualism. There was individualism. What does this mean? There is no cooperation. There is no cooperation. Clear to you? So what was the relation between managers and workers? Fighting always. No harmony, no peace. Both thought that mutual interests are antagonistic, incompatible, different. So this is what is the one important thing which happens with respect to communalism also. What is the main reason for communalism? Both, like all the religions present there, they think that mutual interests are not, they are not compatible. So that is the major reason. Similarly here too. Next is organization. Because of all these things, there is restricted output. Right? Now concentrate and give me the answer. See, I have given the problems. I have also give some techniques also here and there. Now you have to solve the problem. That is what Tyler has done. See, I expect you to be better than Tyler. He's not a great man when compared to you. In my opinion, like you are preparing for civil service means the bravest people in India. लाखों में है applicants. Even then you have come. You are the bravest. Otherwise, if you are like having a feeble-hearted person, if you are a feeble-hearted person, you would have not come. It's not that easy. It's a challenging one. You are very brave. You are very intelligent. Now, one by one, just think it over and give your suggestion, because afterwards I will show you what Taylor has said. You will realize that मैं जो सोच रहा हूँ टेलर भी वही सोचा है. So how to resolve the problem? So first thing is rule of thumb. So rule of thumb, unorganized, ad hoc way, unstructured way. So what is the way? What is the way? In place of rule of thumb, what should be there? Try, think. I want like answers which are vague, which are nonsense, anything. Organized system. Okay, then I have already given the clue to you. The way of doing the things in the organization previously was rule of thumb. What should be the way of doing the things in a systematic way, in a scientific way, based on principle and standard? Pratibha says that Dhubeji, organization structure, organized and structured, Maninder Singh. System of rules. Very nice. Scientific, Pratibha ji has almost given. See, what is rule of thumb? It was the way of doing the work. So scientific management mein, what is the way of the work in scientific management? Finding the one best way is the answer. Is the point clear to you? Ad hoc, unstructured, unorganized. उसका जगह में the one best way लेके आना है. Right? Now, how to get that one best way? Motion and time analysis. Are you able to connect the things? Rule of thumb निकालो, उसका जगह में one best way आना है. How to get into that? How do you get one best way? Very important. Time and motion studies. That's it. Right? Now, managers are lazy. They are not directing to the workers. So what should be done? We'll take the first one. Managers are lazy. They are not directing the workers. Active and diligent managers. Very good. Wages of work based on work. Very good. Second point. Wages on work basis. Very good. So one important thing, concentrate. Will the worker be working to his optimum if he is allowed to work? Just think, any worker. If any worker is allowed to do on his own, the methods, the tool, techniques, whatever he want, he can take. Can we say that he will be more efficient? No. So workers should not initiate. The most important thing is workers should not initiate the work. So, and also Tyler somehow found that however you say the things to the managers, they are not listening. So in fact, he introduced functional foremanship, functional foreman. So I'll explain this thing. Functional foreman is the one thing which was brought to resolve this one. So managers, listen to me now, managers, below that functional foreman, below that workers. This functional foremen were the people. Foreman means supervisors. Function means you already know. Each function should be supervised by one supervisor. In Tyler's term, functional foremanship. Okay, right. Cooperation between managers and workers by Karishma ji. Very good. So, putting the burden on the workmen. So, how? How do you overcome this? So, managers were putting the burden on worker. So, what can be the solution? Think it over. See, your thought should almost be near or better than Tyler's thought. So what can be done for this? Distribution of work, division of work, very nice. So if you have answered this on your own, excellent. If you have answered by seeing the things, it's okay. So when division and responsibilities are divided among both, how can they blame each other? How can they transfer the burden? Not possible. Right? So division of work was one of the things. So there are less cooperation, they were less cooperative than workers. So they should be made more cooperative. That's it. What is there? Then soldering. So I have already told with respect to soldering, the meaning is reduction in output. Soldering means reduction in output. Because of natural reasons, that is said to be natural soldering. Systemic soldering, because of intentional reasons. Intentional reasons. So here, this can be eliminated. And this, if you take the things in a systematic way, because already what a worker has to be done has already been decided. His responsibility, everything, division of work, everything is clear cut. So by doing this thing, soldering won't be there. Right? The next one, manager and workers conflict. So they thought that mutual interests are antagonistic. And there was individualism. So what is the need? What is the thing which has to come here? In place of conflict, we should have harmony. And very important, we should make sure that they understand the thing that their mutual interest means interest of manager and the workers are not different. See, in our class, do you think our interest and your interests are different? In the broader sense, both of our interests are same. If we think like हमें पैसा लेना है, हमें ये करना है, if you think like we have to get more out of the things what we give, and if you think these things are different, then it leads to conflict. So that should not be there. Organization, restricted output. In that place, we have to have maximum output. Restricted output, here maximum output. These are the things. Okay. So this was the slide I made, but the first one came here. So please write this. So, so like even 1 minute. Okay. So please do write this. Points are enough. I'll give the detailed material, rule of thumb, all these things. So fast, you have to write fast. So this was a situation when Tyler entered, the great hero. If you are done with, please let me know. Karishma ji, very good. You have been answering many questions accurately. It's great. Amara, like we thought that our senior players, there are some senior players also, they would answer. But VIPs don't answer generally. That is the reason they are not answering. Okay, I will move to next slide. So soldering, in that you just add two things, natural and systemic. So natural, in within the bracket, natural reasons. Systemic, intentional. Systemic, intentional. In that, natural soldering can be easily done with, but systemic, very difficult. So now you please write this. Next, managers and workers, there was conflict. There was, they both thought that mutual interest or antagonistic, that is, individualism was there. So you can write the other way also. First is conflict. Second point is individualism. So what is individualism? Both thought that mutual interest are antagonistic. Antagonistic means opposite, conflicting. Either way is correct. Then you have organization where the output was restricted output. Done. Shall we move? Okay. Vedika ji has given yes, we'll move forward. Okay. How to resolve? I have already told. Just listen to me. Rule of thumb should be replaced by scientific management. One best way. Then managers are lazy. For that, they should be functional foremanship. We have tried. They are not listening to these things. Next, workers on their own initiative. Workers should not initiate. And incentive should be based on work, not attendance. And putting the burden on the workers and not cooperative. So there is a need of division of work and responsibility. System, in case of soldering, soldering resulted in reduction in output. Natural soldering, because of natural reasons like laziness, not overexerting, taking the things easily. In case of systemic soldering, the workers intentionally kept the expectation of the manager with respect to what a worker can do at low. Managers, there was conflict in this place. You have to have harmony and peace. There is individualism. There you have to come with cooperation. Restricted output, in that place, maximum output. Okay. So next are the assumptions. So assumptions are pretty easy. Number one, listen to me, just listen to me now. First of all, like next we will be studying the principles. So what is the basis of this principle? Taylor has given, in fact, like 4 to 5 principles which are very important, which are very simple. So how can he come to that logic? How can he come to that philosophy? Is based on these assumptions. Simple organization functions can be improved with the application of scientific method. So organization was not functioning efficiently, inefficient. So scientific method can improve. If that assumption would have not been there, they would have not put the scientific method. Next, good worker is one who does not initiate action, but accepts order from the management. Then the third, okay, sorry. Then the third one, okay, 1 minute. Every worker is an economic man. Economic man means who is motivated by monetary factors. Right? Now write down this assumptions. Assumptions, the first one, organization functioning can be improved with the application of scientific methods. Organization functions, please make short forms. Organization functions can be improved with the application of scientific method. Second point, good worker is one who does not initiate action. Good worker is one who does not initiate action, but accept the order from the management. For management, just write MT, management. Good worker is one who does not initiate action, but accept the orders from the management. Third, every worker is an economic man. That is, he is motivated by monetary factors. Every worker is an economic man. He is motivated by monetary factors. These are the assumptions. Done with? Okay, great. Right? We'll move forward. Next, principles of scientific management. Listen to me. What are the principles? These are the basis on which we are thinking of increasing the production, productivity, efficiency, and making the organization profitable. Number one, science of work, not rule of thumb. Simple, you already know this. So rule of thumb was there. Rule of thumb means simply means unorganized way of doing the things. So rule of thumb, a method of procedure based on experience and common sense. So it is based on common sense and experience. A general principle regarded as roughly correct, but not intended to be scientifically accurate. No need of this explanation. I am just telling you the dictionary name, meaning. So rule of thumb means that which is not scientific. Organization run on to rule of thumb means unorganized, unstructured, unregulated, ad hoc, and scientific way. Organizations run on rule of thumb means those which are run unorganized, unstructured, unregulated, ad hoc, and unscientific. So very easy to remember, all are unstructured, regulation, and organization, right? This is the one. Now, how to develop the science of work? How to develop the science of work? Please let me know. One best way. How do you develop one best way? Please answer this question. How to develop one best way? Science of work. How to develop? In a flow. Okay, then still two things have given. Two experiments. Yes, time and motion analysis. What is the work? What is the time taken? Time and motion. Just remember two words. Based on time and motion studies, we are getting into one best way. Next, next. Who are doing these things? Science of work. Is it done by worker? Is it done by manager? कौन करता है ये? Very good. Managers, not both, not both. Durga ji, not both, because they don't have anything. They are just thought to be as horses or any draught animal which just carries the load. So workers were thought to be like ignorant. Okay, no need. Okay, sir. Like no need. I just said, right? So here in this slide, the most important thing is rule of science of work, not rule of thumb. What is rule of thumb? Organization run on rule of thumb is unorganized, unstructured, unregulated, ad hoc, and unscientific. That's it. Next, scientifically, see, you have already, please connect the things. You now have scientific way of doing the work. So now what you have to do? You have to select the worker. After that, you have to train him. You have to teach him. You have to develop the workman. Bangalore say, Delhi, we have to move a parcel. Not that. Think that washing utensils in a kitchen. You have already formed a scientific way of washing the utensils. See, the sink will be here. So where should the sink be? देखिए ऐसा है, ये sink है. If the tap is here, can you wash properly? Tap आपसे ऊपर है, उधर से पानी गिर रहा है. नहीं. So tap, and also the water is coming very fast. That is also not good. You decide that water should come optimally. How to rinse? After you wash, where to keep? So as soon as you wash, can you keep them in the cupboard or anywhere? No, you have to make them dry. How? So all these things are determined. After that, you are scientifically selecting the worker. Scientifically select, then train, then teach, and develop the workman. And also Tyler suggested that even after you have selected the worker scientifically, you have trained him, you have taught him, you have developed him. If he is unable, two things. If he is unable to produce, or he is also unwilling, he is able but not willing, then the only thing left is remove him. Right? Next, bring together the science of work and the scientifically selected worker. So are you able to connect the things? This is the big picture which is not given in any book. I am taking the things in a very systematic way, flow. See here, standards are already set. Standards are set by time and motion study. To do that, who will do that? Worker has to do. You have scientifically selected him. After that, bring these two people together. Right? So what is the another thing missing here? These things over. There is another thing missing. What is that? Go back to the background. What is that? So all these three are very important. इसका बात क्या है? The most important thing is that there was a conflict between the workers. As techniques will there. After this, within this itself, there was a conflict between these people. How to resolve? How to resolve these things? For this very, very important thing, just you have to keep this in mind, mental revolution. You have got science of work, you have got scientifically selected worker, you have brought together. If there is a conflict, scientific management will be a big failure. Scientific management is not possible without mental revolution. Mental revolution simply means a new way, a new vision, a new outlook, where both feel that we are a team, where both are cooperating, where both thinks that our mutual interests are not antagonistic. It's a will-will situation. Cooperation is self-help by mutual help. You help me, that will help me. I will help you, and that will help me. What is cooperation? In one word, self-help by mutual help. Cooperation. What are cooperative societies? Right? Mental revolution. Mental revolution, new look. No scientific management without mental revolution. Think, is it possible? You have got all the techniques. Sorry. The worker is strong, efficient, skilled. You have got techniques. But there is a conflict between the worker and the management. Can you think we can have maximum output? Tyler simply says, आपका पास कुछ भी हो, if there is no mental revolution, he makes the point. He says that no scientific management at all. Right? Next, there must be equal division of work and responsibility between the manager and the workman. Right? So please write down these things. So what are the principles of scientific management? Number one, science of work. Science of work, not rule of thumb. So science of work based on the standards set by time and motion studies. Next, scientifically select, then train, then teach and develop workmen. So in short, scientifically select the workmen. Third, two things are already done. You bring them together. Bring together the science of work and the scientifically selected workman. Bring together the science of work and scientifically selected workman. The fourth one, mental revolution. Inside bracket, new outlook. New outlook. New outlook based on cooperation, based on cooperation and harmony between M and W. Cooperation, very important term. Cooperation and harmony. So previously what was there? Conflict. Previously there was individualism. Now we have got cooperation and harmony. And very important, without MR, no SM. Means no scientific management without mental revolution. Even if you have all the techniques, everything required, not possible. The last one, there must be equal division of work and responsibility between M and W. So here don't get carried away. Workmen, workers, you can use interchangeably. Right? There must be equal division of work and responsibility. Work and responsibility between M and W. So any doubt with respect to the things which are there? These are the most important thing on which the whole scientific management revolves around. There is nothing more than this. There are some techniques which are pretty easy. Techniques though very easy. Principles are the things which are very subjective. I hope you are able to interconnect the things in a logical way. Right? So, aap hi bole. Now the ball is in your court. What are the techniques we can use here? So, like, what are the things? You just have to, not only the things, methods, ways, procedures, kuch bhi ho. To solve the previous problem and to get into the present slide. Kya karna hai? First one I will give you, because already told. time studies, motion studies. Then what next? What next? Think it over. So managers are lazy. We tried to somehow bring on par, but they are not, that is not working. So who should be brought? Between managers and workers, who should be brought? Supervisor, very good. Foreman, still better. Functional foreman, excellent. So foreman means supervisor. Functional foreman means one function, one superior, one supervisor. Very, very good. Now give very, very important, concentrate. Tyler says that there should be 8 functional formats. 8 functional formats. This is in conflict with one of the principles of management or organization. What is that? So we discussed. Let me make this point clear to you. Tyler says that here these managers are not working properly. So we should have management. Below that, we should have functional foremen and workers. He says that there should be 8 functional foremen for one worker. This is in opposition to one of the most important thing we discussed. So let me give the things also. Hierarchy, number 1. Number 2, unity of command. Number 3, span of control. So it is against which of these things? This principle is against which principle? Functional foremanship is against which of the 3? How can this be span of control? What is span of control? It is linked to span of attention. Span of attention, what is my span of attention? How many I can hold? Span of control, application of these things. How many I can supervise effectively, efficiently, direct, personal. So unity of command. Unity of command means one person, one boss. Right? So unity of command, like I will give one more illustration for you. So we'll take our organization itself. We have got, okay, we have got, say for example, this is Sambhavam IAS office. We have got Manish sir. We have got Anil sir. We have got Piyush sir. And we have got Akhilesh sir. Right? Think that there is a typist. Right? Typing, a person who does. Typist. So, for this typist, Manish sir will say something. Anil sir will say something. Piyush sir will say something. Akhilesh sir will say something. कैसा रहेगा? This is not unity of command. There will be utter confusion. If this is the case, what really happens is the typer never does work properly. When Manish sir says to ask him to do something, he says that Anil sir has already given something. When Anil sir says to ask something, he says that Piyush sir and Akhilesh sir already given work for next work, something like that. So unity of command, you think the same in your family also. There will be, if there is unity of command means there is one big boss, after that it will be there. Otherwise, if you are like, if somebody is asking like why you are doing, then you will have father told, mother told. So here he rejected the concept of unity of command. We'll discuss that. Right? Okay. So have you taken this slide? Have you written or not written? I think I did not. I dictate. Did I dictate this? Yes. Okay. Done. Okay. Next. See, these are the technique. Listen to me. So time motion studies. Just listen now. So, in fact, scientific management itself is time motion study, very popularly known as time motion study. Functional foremanship, you already know. Differential piece rate plan. So motion study, I'll explain like everything. Already the crux I have given you. Time study means what is the standard time. Motion study, what is the standard method. So functional foremanship, foreman means supervisor. Functional foreman means one, functional foreman means supervisor for one work. So he says that, I was explaining this in fact, functional foremanship, he says that if there has to be 8 functional foremen. So he says that there has to be 8 functional foremen. In that, 4 should be for planning. So 4 supervisors will be for planning, and another 4 will be for execution. Right? So this planning people will be sitting in planning room. Planning room. Executive people will be in field. So this in fact has given rise to the modern phenomena of line and staff. So line and staff is a very important thing which we'll be discussing later. So this picture has to be there in your mind. Very simple one. Functional foreman. Foreman is equal to supervisor. Right? So 8. Each worker. So each worker. Right? So functional foremanship में doubt आया कुछ? So here you will get little doubt, don't worry, because this is one thing where I have brought about unity of command also, functional foremanship, कैसा work करेगा, I'll explain, don't worry. Right? So have you taken this? Just it will be easy for you to understand. One of the most important thing is this one, line and staff. So line means planning. Staff means execution. So this you can see in our see application part. This we can see in government. Secretary organization is for planning. Executive organization is for executing the thing. Same thing is follow here. So here if you take government organization, if you take government, it will be in the form of ministry. If you take any ministry, there are 3 things. One is minister, another is secretary, secretariat, then executive organization. Executive organization. So here minister is a person who is involved in like direction, policy, you can take like that. Secretary is the person involved in planning. Executive organization is involved in executing the things. It is there in field. So execution and it is field. And secretariat is said to be line organization. Line organization, this is staff organization. So this is the way like how you can interconnect. There's nothing much to worry about because we'll be discussing these things in detail. So why I said is the impact of scientific management is still today. Even today, you have that like gang boss, clerk. As I said, the management degree, Taylor played a great role in evolving a degree for management itself. People never thought that there can be degree for management, right? So next, write down this we have already discussed. Time motion study. Number one, to find the best motion. To find the best motion leading to preferred work method. Preferred work method. Next, we have got time study, determination of standard time to complete a work. Very simple. Don't bother about the things what I have given exactly. The content is important, not the style. You can write on your own. Time study, determination of standard time to complete a work. Underline standard time. Next, functional foremanship. So foreman is equal to supervisor. Tyler rejected unity of command. Unity of command because it is against the principle of specialization. It is against the principle of specialization. Next, one foreman should supervise one particular function only. Please underline and keep it in inverted comma. This is the meaning of functional foremanship. I repeat, one foreman should supervise one particular function only. One particular function only. In this regard, Taylor advocated 8 functional foremans. 8 functional foremans. 4 for planning, 4 for execution. If you have taken the diagram, that is well enough. And also, in bracket, you write, this has given to the modern concept of line. This has given rise to the modern concept of line hyphen secretariat staff hyphen executive organization in ministries. Done with? Okay. So differential peace rate plan. This is one of the most important thing present. In fact, scientific management was so popular. There were strikes. There was many things because you just think deciding the work, selecting the worker, giving him a task. Really, it's a very exhausting thing, inhuman thing for any worker. So here, what is this? In one word, different pay for different workers. Ek aisa chalega. What is this? So here, it's like this. So what you have done? You have found out one best way of doing the things. So you have found out scientific management. How? Based on time and motion studies. So what you have got from time and motion studies? You have got what is known as standards. Is it clear to you? So based on time and motion studies, you are able to come up with certain standards. ये काम कैसा करना है, कितने आदमी कर सकते हैं, how much time it will take, everything. So here, based on this standard, whomsoever does better than this will be given more money. Who is not able to achieve this standard will be given less. Is the point clear? The bonus system, what you might have heard, is the direct impact of scientific management. Right? So here the key line is different pay for different workers. Different pay for different workers based on the standards. Based on the standards set by based on the standards set by time and motion studies. So next you write down pay by piece rates is the subheading. Pay on the basis of standards set by motion and time studies, which you have already written. So pay plan was known as differential piece rate plan. Did you get the meaning? Here, different pay for different work. That is the reason it is said to be differential piece rate system. So here, what is the piece? It is the standard. So if you do this piece of work, you will get this money, right? So under this plan, workers were paid, number one, a low piece rate up to a standard. So up to a standard, up to the standard, you will get low piece rate. Second, large bonus at the standard. Second, large bonus at the standard. Third, higher piece rates above the standard. Higher piece rate above the standard. So done with. Okay. This plan of payment makes the worker put their better effort. So no need to write this one. The next line is important. Write down. It is direct and quick. It is the two important things which you have to highlight is this is direct and quick. So more efficient. So more efficient. If at all, if you want, you can add the other one. More efficient than the profit sharing plan in motivating the workers. Then the next is exceptional principle. Exceptional principle. So write down for this. So listen to me before that. What is this exceptional principle? Taylor says that if a person, if a worker is working at the standard, don't disturb, don't touch, don't do anything. ऐसा है एक लड़का ऑलरेडी एक बच्चा ऑलरेडी अच्छा पढ़ रहा है, so don't disturb him. Only when there are exceptions to the standards, then only you should interfere, right? Exceptional principle says that managers should interfere in the work of the workers only when they are deviating from the standards, right? So please write down. Managers should not interfere in the work of workers. Managers should not interfere in the work of workers if they are at the standard. If they are at the standard, comma, should interfere only, underline only, should interfere only when there is deviation from the standards. So here deviation from standard also means like higher than standard and lower than standard. So interference, or like they just can go to the workers only when these two things. Because in most of the books I have gone through, they have not clarified whether the deviation is only with respect to lower standards or with respect to the people who are achieving the higher standards also. Okay. So now this is all about scientific management. इससे scientific management में कुछ नहीं है. The only thing which you have to, like, which we will be discussing, and one of the thing is here. So here the whole principle is number one. It is concentrating only on shop floor. Shop floor means it is concentrating only on the workers at the lower levels. That is one thing. Second one is here they want to make workers as efficient as machines. Workers as efficient as machines. This is the one which has been questioned. Can we treat humans as machines? Can we treat humans as animals? That is a question. So here, in this regard, there are some few very famous. So these are the techniques. Okay. So just write down these things. Workers below, like separate one. Don't attach to principles or techniques. At the bottom, workers has gear wheels. SM's overriding concern is to increase production. Scientific management's overriding means most important. Above all, overriding most important, above everything. Concern is to increase the production. And it does this by making human beings as efficient as and more like machines. It does this by making human beings as efficient and more like machines. Please very much underline the term machines. So here, what is the logic? What is the overriding concern? So what is the overriding concern? Very important. What is the most important concern of scientific management? Please do answer. Most important concern of scientific management. Yes, increase the production. Right? So for that, see, interlink the things. The most important thing is overriding, most important above all. This is the one. How it is done? By making human beings as efficient as the machines, more like machines. So here, before machines should come, efficiency. They want to make humans efficient. In this, it will be almost like machines. Next, another thing. It is absolutely necessary for every man in an organization to become one of a train in the gear of wheel. So according to scientific management, it is absolutely necessary for every man in the organization. It is absolutely necessary for every man in the organization to become one of a train of gear wheels. One of the train of gear wheels. So I'm very bad at so sorry. Writing figure. So what is this? Like train of gear wheels. So in fact, I have put a diagram. It is missing. So you might have heard, like you might have seen things like this. Not exactly. This is a wheel, and there will be another wheel like this. So I'll show the diagram in the next one. So one are interconnected, like gear system, like that, right? So any doubt with respect to these things? So if you have got any doubt, please let me know. Okay. So like, let me just scan. Let me just go through all the slides so that you will remember better. So from where did we start the class? Please tell me. From where did we start? What was the first thing we discussed? First thing. What is scientific management? Great. Scientific management. Oh, please do answer. What is scientific management? First, this should be like question and answer. You can use short forms, very, very short forms, abbreviations also. Closed model, one best way. Very good. Right, very good. So another definition which I gave. Before that, I gave another also. Time and motion studies, very good. It is very popularly known as time and motion studies also. Then after that, I gave one difficult definition also. Workflow processes, very good, Goel. So workflow processes. So what they are doing with respect to workflow process? Why they are doing workflow process? Workflow processes are the means for what? Rising organizational productivity. Very, very good. So what is the other thing we discussed up to scientific management? We discussed, okay, we discussed why scientific management or the background, right? So what was the background at the end of 19th century and the beginning of 21st century, 20th century? Organization was inefficient. That is the most important. Organizations were inefficient. What was the reasons? Inefficient. So why they were inefficient? Rule of thumb, very good. Rule of thumb. Then next one. Yes, managers and workers were there. Then conflict and disharmony, very good. Managers were lazy, very good. Right? Okay, very nice. Please listen to me. I'll go a little fast. It may take time for you. So why scientific management? No cooperation between the, just listen to me. I'll sum up the class now in a very systematic way, easy to understand. So why scientific management? The reason is organizations were inefficient. Then came our father of scientific management, Tyler. So we have discussed about Tyler. Scientific management, Tyler, in that you have to have the background, that is why of scientific management, and also assumptions the Tyler made, and the principles, and also the techniques. So with respect to scientific management, this will suffice. In addition to that, before this, okay, okay, 1 minute. So sorry, we forgot to what, like plug in the switch. Okay, okay, great. So these are the most important thing. In addition, in most of books, how they go about. First, they talk about who are present before Tyler, after Tyler's who are there, universal principles, effects, all these things. But those are not the best ways. Best you have to use the thing what I have told you. In this all these things we'll be studying and I will give the notes. The most important thing is in scientific management, they tried to make the human, the worker, as efficient as machine. This is the one which is being questioned. This is the one from which major like 25% of the questions with respect to scientific management are coming. So we have to elaborate on that one. We'll do in our future sessions. So scientific management, it's a closed model and it's also known as time and motion studies. And scientific management is the analysis of workflow processes by as a means for raising the organizational productivity. Scientific management is finding the one best way of doing the things. The name is given by Tyler in his book, Principles of Scientific Management. So it is written on his tomb also. Tyler work experience is the basis for all his principles. He is the basis for all his contributions. He worked as an apprentice without like money. He worked as a labor. After that, he elevated to chief engineer in steel company. Then he worked as a general manager in another company. Then he dedicated his complete life till his death for research after 1901. This is about Tyler. It will be sufficing. Scientific management and why it emerged. The main reason is organizations were not working efficiently because of lot of loss of production or less production. So at this time, scientific management in a concrete way emerged and it gave the solution. So why the production was less during that period is rule of thumb. Managers were lazy. Because of that, they made workers to take the initiative and the workers were getting initiative, which is in the form of salary, which was based on attendance. So this point number one and point number two is also known as incentive and incentive and initiative based management. Incentive and initiative based management. Putting the burden on the workers was a thing done by the manager, and also there was no cooperation between them. And less managers comparative was less cooperative. Workmen were following soldering. Soldering means reduction in output, and this was natural and also systemic. So managers and workers were always in conflict, no harmony. There was individualism in place of cooperation. Organization had restricted output. So solving these things led to scientific management. For this, some principles were used. So how to resolve these things? We have already discussed these things, right? Coming to the principles. So assumptions. Assumptions in that Tyler firmly believed that scientific methods can improve the production productivity, and a good worker should not initiate and just take the orders given by the management. And a worker is an economic man, means if you give more money, he will work more. So principles in that scientific science of work, no rule of thumb. Next is, so rule of thumb here, the one given below. Organization run based on the rule of thumb are unorganized, unstructured, unregulated, ad hoc, and unscientific. So if second is scientifically select and train, teach and develop the workman. Next, please connect the things. The principles are very important. They should be going in flow. Then bringing together the work and the workman. Then mental revolution means here it should be a win-win situation. Win-win situation based on cooperation. Then work and responsibility should be equally divided. These are the principles. Techniques, time and motion study, functional foremanship, differential rates plan, and exceptional principles. And the last one, so they here very important, listen to me. What is the main aim of scientific management? Please answer this. What is the main aim of scientific management? Increase the production. Very good. That is it. That's it. So for that, what they did is they concentrated on the workers more, concentrated more on workers. It doesn't mean that they only were concentrating on workers. Even they concentrated on the managers also. Taylor outrightly said that managers are lazy. That is the reason things are getting worse, right? So differential pace rate system, exceptional principle. Exception principle simply says that जो अच्छा काम कर रहा है, who is bringing the standards, don't touch him, don't disturb. That is the one. So not only this, many more, and in a very systematic way, I'll give the material also. But you have to master the things what I have told. This is the crux, this is the core, this is the gist of scientific management, right? So like how are the classes going on? Like I want you to give the feedback so that I can change. Here the main motto is you should understand better. So if you are finding the things difficult, because this is not like history, geography, this is optional. So if you are finding the things difficult in understanding, or if you want some other way of teaching, you please let me know. If at all, like if you have understood what all I am saying, then it will be more than sufficient for you. So in a very systematic way, like we have covered, in fact, a huge portion, you are not aware of the things. The things what we have covered is the major part of major, like in books. Okay. Then if that is the case, we'll wind up the session here. Have a great day. Enjoy your preparation. And with respect to public administration, leave it to me. Anything and everything, if you need, I'll provide. No need for you to read any book because they are very difficult. The books which are very easy, questions are not coming. So here, anything, I should be the one-stop solution. If at all, if you want, you can read anything. But my suggestion is don't read, right? Having said that, let me conclude the session here. Have a great day. Enjoy your preparation. We'll have class tomorrow also, right? And don't worry about completing the syllabus. I'll be there with you, right? Thank you.